Hey guys, my name is Ari. Today I'm going to be making a video with some much needed updates. About a year ago I made a video about how to make an STP insert, and since I made that video I've learned quite a few things and I've changed my process a little bit. So I wanted to make a new video showing my updated design. If you haven't watched the original video, don't worry about it. I'll go over everything today. The first thing I have here is a infant CPR practice mask. I get these on Amazon for about $25. I can get a 10-pack, which lasts me about a year. There's a couple different brands available. I've found that the WNL brand is the best. The other brand was, I was getting a lot of splitting in the silicone right here. That was very frustrating, so do yourself a favor and get the WNL. I also have some silicone tubing. This is platinum cured silicone that is 1/2 inch outer diameter. I think I got this for like 15 bucks on Amazon. And then the last thing is Silpoxy. This is a silicone adhesive that is skin safe. I started using this after I found out about it. I was using just regular silicone adhesive, and it never touches my skin or any other part of my body, so I felt okay about that, but I feel even better about this. So it's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's worth it. The tools I use are a Japanese pole saw. I use this to cut this plastic, so it doesn't have to be a Japanese pole saw. I just happen to have this in my workshop, but it's nice and sharp, has a serrated edge, and quite thin. I also use a sanding pad, just a regular sandpaper is fine too. Some scissors, and a pair of tweezers. The first thing I'm gonna do, and this is a change from my previous video, is this piece of plastic here is a bit too long, and it makes the entire prosthetic a bit too rigid. And so I'm just gonna cut it at a bit of an angle like this, so that there's a little bit less rigidity right there. So next, this little silicone nipple bit is kind of sharp and uncomfortable, so I'm gonna fold that in. And this part's a bit fiddly and it takes me a while. Haha, I got it. There we go. So now there are no sharp edges, it's nice and smooth, much better. Okay, now let's cut a piece of silicone tubing. The length of this is going to vary depending on your prosthetic. I cut this shorter than the shaft because I don't want it to poke all the way through. So I'm going to cut mine about there. I can always make it a bit shorter later. And this tubing is very, very close in diameter to this hole here. So to make things a bit easier for myself, I always cut a little wedge out there that allows me to just kind of, tuck this silicone in. There we go. Yay. Okay. Now they're connected. Pretty solid. There's enough length of this plastic part for them to have a good connection there, but it's not so long that it's causing awkward bending. The next thing I'm gonna do, because this silicone tubing is kind of stiff, And I don't want my prosthetic to be too stiff, if you know what I mean. I'm going to cut some holes along this edge here. And what that will do is allow it to bend more easily. Okay, so to cut the holes, I'm going to do the first one pretty high up. I'm going to fold the tubing in half, and then fold it in half again. That creates this little corner. And my cats are having a lot of fun. Okay, there we go. Now we have a nice hole there. And then we will do that again, making a little hole. And I'll do one more. You don't want to make these holes too big, otherwise the silicone will tear over time. But you want to make them big enough that you get some bendiness here. And it doesn't matter that liquid can come out those holes because it'll just run down the outside and go out through the tip of the packer. Because this tubing is going to end before the end of the shaft, if any liquid were to come out around this seal, go out around and drip down, it'll just eventually make its way out the tip. Okay, we are almost done. The last thing we're gonna do is put some Silpoxy around the outside here. Don't really want to touch this stuff because it gets all over your hands and you can't wash it off. I'm just gonna use a folded paper towel to smooth that out. I'm gonna do a little bit more. It's really awkward if these two parts break apart in your pants because then you're stuck at the urinal trying to get them back together. Okay, so here's the finished product. It just has to cure for about 24 hours for this silicone to become nice and dry, and then you can use it. I position it with this pointy part pointing backwards. It's kind of hard to explain how to position it without being able to touch it. Okay, this is the finished product. It just has to cure for 24 hours. And I'll have to make another video, or you can refer to my previous video for tips on how to position it. There's a bit of a trick to getting a good seal with this air cushion securely over your urethra so that there are no leaks. I hope this video was helpful. Check back again because maybe I'll make another one sometime. Might be a while, but thanks for watching.